Hello and welcome to Chapter 6. In this chapter I'll be featuring two famous band leaders, Eddy Duchin and Abe Lyman, and the cowboy actor Chuck Morrison. All three men were represented by MCA, Music Corporation of America, where my step-grandfather Al Epstein, also known as Eppie, worked as an entertainment attorney. MCA was formed in 1924 by Dr. Jules Stein, an ophthalmologist, and William R. Goodhart, Jr. as Music Corporation of America, a music booking agency based in Chicago, Illinois. MCA helped pioneer modern practices of touring bands and name acts. Early on, MCA booked such prominent artists as Sophie Tucker and Joey Lewis for clubs and speakeasies run by notorious Chicago mobsters such as Al Capone and others. By the end of the 1930s, MCA would become the largest talent agency in the world with over 700 clients, which included movie stars, music recording artists, Broadway actors, radio stars, producers, and directors. Its aggressive acquisition of its clientele in all entertainment sectors earned MCA's nickname of the Octopus. This behavior led the U.S. Department of Justice agents to investigate not only whether MCA was a monopoly breaking antitrust laws, but also its suspected connection to underworld criminal activities. This investigation would continue for the next few decades. To my knowledge, Eppie was not one of those violent hoods that were part of the underworld. He was an entertainment attorney. But I'd bet he rubbed elbows with some pretty interesting people. And when I say mob, I'm referring mostly to Al Capone's Chicago outfit and the Jewish Kosher Nostra, also known as the National Crime Syndicate, which later formed Murder, Inc. There are also Jewish members in the American Mafia and the Commission. There were gangs in 14 states and 21 major cities across the United States that had grown since 1859. Let's move on with our featured entertainers. Edwin Frank Eddy Duchin was born in Cambridge, Massachusetts on April 1, 1909. He was a popular American pianist and band leader of the 1930s and 1940s, famous for his engaging onstage personality and his elegant piano style. He was originally a pharmacist before turning full-time to music and beginning his new career with Leo Reisman's orchestra at the Central Park Casino in New York City, an elegant nightclub where he became hugely popular in his own right and eventually became the Reisman Orchestra's leader by 1932. Eddy is in these home movies taken in the mid-1930s at my grandparents' residence in Palm Springs, California, with his son Peter, who, as an adult, is also a successful pianist and band leader in New York City.
The man in the suit next to Mother, Eddy Duchin, who was a very well-known orchestra leader, pianist. This is Eddy. And this is Peter before he knew what a piano was.
By the mid-1950s, Columbia Pictures, having enjoyed success with musical biographies, mounted a feature film based on the band leader's life. The Eddy Duchin story was released in 1956, with Tyrone Power in the title role. On February 9, 1951, Eddy Duchin died at the age of 41 at Memorial Hospital in New York City. He was cremated, and his ashes were scattered in the Atlantic Ocean. Abe Lyman was born Abraham Simon on August 4, 1897 in Chicago, Illinois. He was a popular band leader from the 1920s to the 1940s. He made recordings, appeared in films, and provided the music for numerous radio shows, including Your Hit Parade. In 1931, Abe Lyman and his orchestra recorded 3 soundtracks for the Merry Melodies cartoon series for Warner Brothers Studios. Abe and his brother Mike, featured in an upcoming chapter, changed their last name to Lyman because they both thought it sounded better. Abe Lyman performed in Chicago at the Chez Paris and at the Dells in Morton Grove, Illinois, owned by Al Capone. Watch for the Dells in future chapters. It's integral to one of the kidnappings. When Abe was 50 years old, he left the music industry and went into the restaurant management business.
This with a cigar in the golf club, Abe Lyman, orchestra leader, brother of Mike, good friend of the family's.
Abe Lyman died on October 23, 1957, in Beverly Hills, California, at the age of 60. He was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California, in Los Angeles County, in the Garden of Memory plot. Chuck Morrison was a mystery man. Born in Cambridge, Massachusetts on June 17, 1896, his Hollywood career lasted about 10 years from approximately 1933 to 1944. And then he just disappears. Perhaps he entered the service during World War II, or got a job in a defense plant, or he was injured, ill, or passed away. He generally played henchman. The Internet Movie Database lists 65 films Morrison worked on.
Everything worked out just you said. The old guy comes along from Soledad, we try to stop him. Some bird butts into the party, and I get it.
They didn't get a look at you, did they?
No, I don't think so.
Well, if they did, we better scram out of this town.
Don't be in such a hurry. We didn't send you here 3 months ago to open up a boarding house for nothing. Now, things are going as we planned. When we check out of here, we're going to own the Royal Flush, and we're going to pay for it with the dough that old codger was carrying on him. You'll see.
I don't know what you're talking about. This hand doesn't look good to me. Let me go get a basin for it.
He was easily recognizable by his protruding jawline and the misalignment of his teeth. One of his signature poses was when he had his hands around someone's throat. Some reports state he was married to a model, Mary Wood Morrison, and they divorced in 1935. In the home movies, my dad's voiceover has Morrison with his then-wife, Lee Morrison.
The blonde woman is Lee Morrison. She was married to a movie cowboy, Chuck Morrison. She had the money. This is Chuck Morrison walking with Mother.
This wraps up family friends who were entertainers who visited the Palms. In Chapter 7, I'll start with friends who were businessmen running restaurants and nightclubs, some mob-owned, like the Chez Paris, movie theaters, a printing company, and retail businesses.